Welcome to episode 3 of Royally Rumbled. As always, Bobby Cash and Mr. DJ King are joining me as we look back at the Royal Rumbles. This is 1990, and as you can see, we have another guest on as well. It is the one, the only Mr. JC. Sir, how are you doing? You good?
I'm good. Good, thank you, Nick. DJ King, good to be here. Bobby.
I was wondering if you were going to bother, but you good. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's good for you turning up to work this evening.
Well, I can't let you have all the fun, can I?
It's your show, isn't it? This one.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Working for you tonight. That'll be interesting.
That is true. Yes. So don't, again, like I say, don't forget it.
Right.
Let's all be gentlemanly here.
Anyway, yeah, I will remain professional.
Okay.
Yeah, I do my job when I turn up. Unlike some people who don't even turn up. But I'm here to talk about Royal Rumble 1990. So let's do it.
I'll put it aside. I'll ignore that, but I'll put it aside. Yeah.
Just so you know, I turn up for work. Whenever I get a paid gig, I turn up, no matter what.
Just good to know. Well, yeah, I have been looking for people this week.
Unless you're getting a bollock removed, is that right?
Whoa, that was a life-threatening surgery. How dare you? I could have died.
I'm glad that you didn't.
Well, I am also glad that I didn't. I'd have been shit on this show if I'd died.
Oh, man. So, Nick, go on.
Yes, the Royal Rumble 1990. Obviously, if you've watched the first 2 episodes, you kind of get into the progression of the Rumbles. You know, we had the 20-man. The last 89 was the first 30-man. We've still got no music in this one, but we are getting the countdown. The fans are popping for the countdown clock.
Hold on. Did you watch the same one I did, DJ?
We do have some music.
Random I was going to talk about. Yeah, it's interesting. Like some of them get music.
Yeah, no, Dibiase comes out to silence, and then Coco comes out, and he's got his Coco Beware music.
Yes, sorry, I forgot. Yes, because I heard the music, and I was like, that seemed really weird music. It sounded very.
He gets the Rockers music too.
Yeah, it's like the first 2 and 3 is baby faces, and then like when there's too many people in there, like just screw music. It will take away from the match. I think that's probably why they did it. They didn't want people to look at the entrance because there's stuff going on. Whereas at the beginning, there's not many people in, so they're like give them entrance.
Which is so weird. Which was so weird to think about. No.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think about now because the way that people watch Royal Rumbles now is that they count down, the buzzer goes off, and then they wait for some of the music to play. And obviously you go back to the first few years and they didn't have music, so they had to look. What are you going to do? Wait until they come on screen? That's not how it works. So it was definitely dubbed on, by the way. It wasn't real music.
Mistakes or no?
I'm pretty certain it's dubbed. Yeah.
I genuinely thought they were just shitting on DiBiase. Like
I don't think he had that music yet.
No, he didn't.
I honestly believe he didn't have that entrance music yet.
WrestleMania 6, he had it.
Oh, did it? Oh, yeah, because
he's against Jake, and that's like a couple of months down the line. So unless he had it in those 2 months, I can't remember. Like if he had it at WrestleMania 5, yeah, it was a rarity music, wasn't it? Until sort of the late 80s, early 90s. Well, around this time was when everybody started to get music, except for Andre. He never had music.
Maybe that's why, because I don't remember DiBiase having music at 5, but I do. But obviously he had the big association with Andre. So when he was the heel at like Mania 4, I remember him not having any music, but I remember Savage having.
But they used to only give the baby faces music because people pop for it, don't they? Whereas the heels are just silent and menacing, and then it just evolved to eventually everyone having music, which is why I thought DiBiase didn't have music, and then the 2 first baby faces did have music in this. I didn't think it was dubbed.
Yeah, because I mean, we'll get into the entrance, but obviously DiBiase doesn't, Coco does, Marty does, Jake does, and then Macho doesn't, and then that's it.
Yeah,
Because Piper comes out after that, and he doesn't have any.
The speed of Savage going down that entranceway, what would have even been the point in press and play?
Yeah, his music takes so long to kick in as well compared with the speed of
He'd only been in the ring.
So JC, we've obviously got a bit of a tally chart going and a bit of a ranking system going. So just to keep everyone who's may not have, if you've not watched this first two, go back and watch those and then come back to this one. Currently, spoilers. The best Rumble so far has been 89. Well, obviously there's only been 2. We do an MVP of the match, someone we think had a really good performance. In 88, it was unanimous, and it was Jake. He was the best one by a mile. And in 89, we had Wing Commander Nash on last time, and we had 4 different choices. I picked Hogan actually as my MVP in the last match because as soon as he came out, the level went up. You picked commentary, DJ King, I believe. You picked the commentary team.
They were on fire.
Nick, did you pick Virgil? Someone did.
These picks all sound quite random. I didn't think Hogan was in 89 Rumble.
Yeah, he was in an angle with Savage.
He eliminated.
Oh right, yeah.
He was eliminated by Twin Towers.
I've only ever seen
anyway, I think. Oh, actually, I don't know. I think maybe you agreed with each other. I've got Virgil written down somewhere, and I've got Damien the Snake.
That was Nash.
That was Nash. Yeah, that was Nash, obviously. And then we've got was it the right winner? So in 88 we said no, should have been Jake. It was a mid-card match, the 20-round Rumble. Should have been Jake. And in 89 we agreed that it shouldn't have been Stud, obviously. It's Big John Stud, who cares? I said it should have been Hogan. You two said it should have been Ted Dibiase.
No. I begrudgingly agreed with you.
Oh, you did. You did actually. Sorry, you did.
I said it should have been Hogan. Just the way the end of the match for that match happened 2/3 of the way through it, and then the match carried on. It should have been what happened at the end with Hogan and Savage should have been the finish, and that's why I believe Hogan should have won.
They were the 2 biggest stars. It's weird they weren't the finish. Yeah.
It was weird.
Especially in that era when Hogan just won everything. That's why I was surprised he was in it. I'd completely forgotten about that.
And then Nash picked Bad News Brown, dickhead. Bad News Allen. Oh God, I've got to go brew up again. We say bad news. We say Bad News Brown isn't. It's not bad news for anyone else. It's bad news for him because he's got to do work. Oh, no. And then obviously, go.
Oh, sorry, just to stop you. Just thought relapsed on True Grit on Saturday. Somebody should have said Bad News Allen. Joe Wade's not here. Sorry,
Mr. Trick.
That's good. No, that was good. He probably would have laughed. No, he probably would have been even more miserable about that, to be honest. It was his birthday as well. Could you imagine if we did a birthday song for Alan Kay during the show? I think he might have killed someone. So JC, I texted you this a couple of days ago. We ask all of our guests. We've all done it. We're going to review it when we get to the matches and reflect. But I sent you a list, so I'm going to throw it at you now, and then see if you line up with any of our picks as well. So JC, quick fire, clear your mind, quick fire. What's the best Rumble?
So it's very quick fire.
Yep.
Outside 2, 92 was the obvious one, but I've gone for 97. I think I prefer it slightly because I just love the whole Austin thing in that one. And I think it's fresh in my mind because we watched it, didn't we, last year, Nick? And I just love it. And I love that moment when Brett comes in as well. And it's really made Austin that Rumble 97.
Well, interestingly, I picked 92 as well. That was my pick, but no one's picked 97 yet. So that's the first for us. What's the worst Rumble?
I picked again. I was thinking between 2. I feel the obvious one was 95 because it's so short, but I do actually quite like that one, so I didn't pick that. my pick, I think, is going to be 2014, which the reason I don't like it is because that was like the one where everyone thought Daniel Bryan was going to win, and that would have been really good. And then they thought Roman was going to win. He was last in with Batista. So there was two bits which were a real letdown. Number 30 wasn't Daniel Bryan because and it was Rey Mysterio, and it shit on Rey. And then it was Roman and Batista at the end, and they were pushing Batista as a babyface who was just coming back, and the crowd were just hated it because they wanted Daniel Bryan. And then when we realised Daniel Bryan wasn't there, they wanted Roman, and he didn't win. And they just did that sort of like switcheroo finish, the sort of standard elimination finish. So I remember being a bit just like, it wasn't that good, that one. So I mean, I love most Rumbles, so it's quite hard to pick my worst, to be honest. 2022, I thought it was a bit crap as well. Why did I think that one was crap? What was
because
that?
it was booked by Shane McMahon. That's why.
It was the one where Brock just comes in at the end and just wins it in like 2 minutes. It was a bit like, that was a bit crap, really. I see they were trying to do something cool, but it was just crap. But I think 2014, for reasons I said.
Just remind us, you two.
So 97. Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
Sorry.
No, that's what I meant. DJ and Nick, just remind us of yours.
I think my best was. See, I thought it was 14, but it's not. I think it's 16 was mine.
15 was mine with that Roman one.
Yeah, 16 was my favourite. And my worst one, I think, was. Oh God, I don't remember now.
I can find this out.
I think it might have actually been 14.
JC, whilst I find out the answers to those questions, what's the most overrated Rumble?
2021 I went for because
that's the COVID
everybody
one.
Seemed to love it. Edge coming in at number 1 and just winning it, and I just remember not really liking it. I felt the number 1 thing had been overdone by that point. It didn't really add to it. I kind of felt it shit on everyone else in the Rumble, like because sort of Edge was returning, and he didn't come across as like the sort of underdog who did it from number 1. It just came across as like legend has come back and is kind of shit on everyone else. And I just remember not really enjoying it. And I think everybody else loved it because it was Edge. And I think it was great, Edge's return the year before, but I didn't enjoy his Rumble win. So that was why, again, I didn't dislike it, but I feel it was overrated.
You know, I've never seen that match because it was in the Thunderdome. And I just didn't watch Thunderdome shows, and they announced it, and the announced Edge was as being number 1 and Orton number 2 ahead of time, so everyone knew that they were just waiting for the end because they knew that those two were going to be at the end.
That as well. I thought I just didn't like that one. Yeah, overrated.
Just say, Nick, you picked 95 as the worst. DJ, you picked 2015 with me. Underrated. What's an underrated Rumble?
I almost went for this one because I've got a real nostalgia for 1990, but I wanted to pick another one. My other one was 2020. The reason I think that one's underrated is it's so different. It was the one where Brock made it to 15,
fantastic match, and
he just kept on eliminating people, and it was like, oh, this is just so different. They've made the Rumble different after all these years, and I thought that was cool, and it really made Drew McIntyre. And it's a shame COVID happened because that kind of ruined his push, but it just made him into a superstar.
I loved it as well because, you know, I knew somehow before the match started that Brock wasn't going to win it. It just wasn't going to make it. I mean, they were flipping doing whatever they wanted back in that point, but he wasn't going to win. But I just knew that whoever eliminates Brock Lesnar, that's going to be the guy that they're going to push. And it was, you know, the fact that it was Drew was great, and Brock Lesnar was amazing in that match.
Another thing about that match as well was we got to see some really great one-off pairings against Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, the
whole segment with Keith Lee. That literally raised Keith Lee to a whole other level in the eyes of WWE fans. Like it really did. I mean, I remember at one point thinking, "Oh my God, are they going to actually pull the trigger and have Keith Lee be the man to eliminate Brock Lesnar?" And then no, it didn't happen, obviously. But I mean, even me, a seasoned fucking wrestling fan, was caught at that very moment.
You believed it for an instant. Yeah.
I literally believed it for a minute. I was like, "Come on, Keith."
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's really. I want to. I might rewatch that actually. Well, I'm gonna have to for this, but I might watch it again.
I love getting to shout, "Come on, Keith!" It's such a non-wrestling name as well. It's like I'm
Come on.
supporting at the darts, not in a wrestling match.
Okay. Nick, you said 93. DJ, you said 2018 Shinsuke one, and I said this one. 1990.
Yeah, I almost went for this one, but we were going to talk about it, so I wanted to pick 2020.
What's the best finish?
So there's quite a few to choose from, but this. So when I was looking at my worst Rumbles, I couldn't pick this one because I love the finish so much. 95. I love Shawn almost getting eliminated, and then Bulldog's music playing and Shawn doing him over. I just thought that was a creative finish for the time, and it just stuck out. It's always stuck out in my mind, even though the Rumble's a bit crap 'cause it's only half hour.
You're a massive whore for HBK, though, aren't you? So you've self-confessed, short heartbreak kid.
Yeah, certainly around that era. I mean, I'd say I prefer Brett, but I like both of them.
You changed over Bulldog in England.
Oh, I know what you're referring to now. Yeah. Just to give the backstory to this, we talked about.
Did you go
Invasion.
to One Night Only?
Yeah. Sorry, not Invasion. It was One Night Only, the European Championship between Bulldog and Shawn Michaels. I was there in the audience with my mate Noel from school. We were the only two in there cheering for Shawn Michaels. And everybody, and when he won, we were just up there, just like, that's where you
brilliant.
remember.
That's so funny.
And everyone else was throwing rubbish at him. We were like, "Yay, Shawn!"
So was that the one that you've picked? Best finish, 95.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, Mike.
I'm just saying, I'm surprised. JC didn't get lynched at One Night Only.
Yeah, people were pissed off. Definitely.
What's the best elimination?
So again, between two, and the first one that came to mind was that tackle one, like around 2020 when he just gets dumped on his head. And
Don't count. It doesn't count.
No, we have this every show. That doesn't count.
Loves it.
He's not in it.
Oh, is Taker not in it?
No, they invade the Rumble. They try and take over.
Ah, you're right. Well, I didn't end up picking that one, but I love that one. And the one I picked, and I actually stole it in my Rumble recently, the Maven Undertaker one. It's just a classic, isn't it? And it just it's the best thing Maven ever did, and people will always remember him because of that, despite his sort of lackluster career.
Yeah, but nobody ever mentions the fact that Undertaker then went and murdered him afterwards.
No, they don't. But he did. But that was good as well.
It was a good one. It came off very well in ours. It came off very well in ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say hours like I booked I booked the show. Sorry, mate.
He's taking credit for everything now.
I am.
Yeah.
Don't
4 or
forget.
5 minutes. Now he's the founder.
And
what's my hard work's your hard work as well, Bobby, is it? My money.
What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine too. Right, and then finally, what's the best angle or a spot?
The first one that came to mind, but I didn't pick it. I love the too cool dance around 2021, and then it's just ridiculous, and then he eliminates them both at the end. But the one I picked was from this one, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, because it just stuck out in my mind so much as a kid, and it just made WrestleMania 6, and it was just such a big deal back in the day, seeing two big stars go face to face, and you'd never seen Warrior and Hogan, and it was just such a big moment for me. Whenever I look back on the Royal Rumble 1990, that's the bit that I remember. For years, I couldn't even remember it was Mr. Perfect at the end. It was this spot that I remembered.
Yeah. Well, that's it, Brill. Thank you. Very good.
Just wanted to say one thing as well before we start talking about the 1990 Rumble. It'd be a bit stupid of us to be doing a Royal Rumble show and not have a very quick conversation about the Royal Rumble that we've just had. Now, let's not get into mega details. Just a very quick, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down for you guys this year's Rumble?
I'm like there. Like I'm not here. I'm like here. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, I quite liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I don't watch the product as much now, so I'm not like I appreciate that Jey Uso is really over, so I think it was good that he won. I know there's been lots of controversy over that, but I think that was good, the right thing to do, because he seems to be really over. I did like seeing all the big stars and stuff in there. Roman looked awesome in it as well. So did what do you call him? Young Steiner guy who was spearing everyone.
Bron Breakker.
Yeah, Bron Breakker.
He's great. He's great.
That was good. Like spearing that YouTuber. That was so I guess I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I thought maybe it was a bit of sleep deprivation because I'd been up at 4, worked the show that day, and then stayed up till 4 watching the Rumble. But yeah, I mean, it ticked all the boxes for me. Both matches. I mean, the women's match maybe a little bit less than the men's, only because I was still holding out hope for an AJ Lee return, and I don't really think Charlotte Flair needed to win the Rumble.
A bit boring, wasn't it? Her winning
that match. Do you really need Charlotte Flair to win another Rumble?
It wouldn't have been as bad if she wasn't announced for it beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. If she'd have been a surprise, maybe. Yeah, but the fact that they'd been like hyping her up, it was like, oh, she's coming back. She's going to be in the Rumble. All right, well, she's going to win it then, obviously. But the men's, I liked it. I liked the way, I liked the whole like having the 4 big names all come out basically in a row, and then having everyone go with it being down to Cena and Jey. And even at that point, I was like, come on, this is Cena. This is Cena's last Rumble. They're obviously it's gonna be Super Cena. He's gonna go over, and then no, Jey Uso.
I knew who was going to win before I saw it, because I'd only watched it a couple of nights ago. So I'd tried to avoid it, but you can't, can you? So I'd seen people all get upset about it, so I knew what was going to happen. The finish may have been better if I didn't know that.
Okay.
Side source as well about Joe Hendry being in the Rumble. So when he came out and there was a huge surprise, I was like, yeah, I knew about that.
That was cool for him.
It was a fantastic moment. Like that, a crowd that big, all singing his music, clapping along. Beautiful. Good to see good to see someone who's been grafting for so long finally get his big moments, and he definitely got the most out of it. Like, because again, other than the Braun Breaker spot and then the finish, I think Joe Hendry's one of the biggest things that people have been talking about coming out of that Rumble.
Sheamus's reaction, they all like that, didn't they? So yeah, it was a good Rumble. There was lots of good stuff. I like it when there's like things that come out afterwards, like there's sort of funny bits and memes and stuff.
Yeah,
which we got quite a lot of this year. I think there's been a few years in recent years where it's just been very like, oh yeah, it was all right. I kind of feel I've seen all that before.
Yeah. Right, let's do this. Let's do this show. I'm very, very keen.
Half an hour in, we haven't talked about this show yet.
Nick, if Nick wasn't wearing a hat, he'd be pulling his hair out.
All good.
Sorry, Nick.
I haven't seen the Rumble. Just to clarify why I'm not answering that question.
Okay, you definitely know the result now.
Spoilers.
1990. It starts with Dibiase, and as we mentioned earlier, obviously Coco Beware. Just going to answer a question straight off the bat. Dibiase was awesome in this, and there's a genuine shout for MVP.
No, I definitely agree with you on that one. He really is. I love the little mini Lesnar run at the beginning. Coco comes out, boom, DiBiase shit cans him. Marty comes out, boom, you can follow suit. It was a nice way to make DiBiase look like a monster heel without him actually being a big monster, if you get what I mean. Like he was already clearing house before anyone comes out, and then as soon as Jake came out, that was it. The reaction was boom, and that was when, for me, that was when the match really started.
I mean, Ted came in at number 1, and they made a point on commentary that it was number 30 the year before.
Yeah. Actually, they made a point. Howard Finkel actually says
he drew
he does
30,
actually.
Yeah, last
the man
year.
who drew 30 last year and has drawn number 1. Like, yeah, do you remember how well he did last year? Yeah, fuck that off. No. Let's point out how much of a shit draw he's got this year.
Can I just point out really quick before we go to the actual match and just kind of put over Howard Finkel, because he gets made fun of a lot. If you ever watch Royal Rumbles, especially a bit later on, he gets made fun of for explaining the rules, because everyone knows the rules. Like, not in this.
Some people who watch it, like, they all think that people know the rules, but they don't.
Can I just point out,
Rumble and WrestleMania are the two like shows that the most casual fans watch. So I think you should explain the rules.
That's the reason why I wanted to say it, is that I wanted to just put over him, because as a ring announcer who's done 2 Rumbles in the last month, it's not easy to explain a Royal Rumble match in like 4. You got to do it so you're not waffling. So you got maybe 4, 5 at the most bullet points to explain to a casual person how this match works. And you know that the majority of people in there will know what's going on, but you're doing that for the ones who don't know.
And the presentation, it makes it seem like a big deal.
Exactly. And for the next 10 years, for however long Fink does it, he does it. He explains the rules. He stumbles over his words a couple of times, and he always eats shit for it. And it's like, you do it. You've got one chance to explain these rules and make sure that they get them right.
Oh, I love Fink.
I love Fink as well.
My favorite announcer of all time. Yeah, I mean, that's nostalgia talking, perhaps, but he has to be. Yeah,
he's the reason why I don't use cue cards.
I'm with JC on that. I'd probably say Howard Finkel is the best ring announcer ever.
Oh yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah,
it's not even close. Anyway, I just wanted to give him some love.
Your fellow announcer. Let's see who drew number 1.
Did you hear I gave it socks, didn't I? That was because that's what he does. So yeah, they had Ted at 1, and then Coco with his Peter Wright paint on his head, with his what I don't even know.
That wrong?
Paint in his head.
Yeah. I'm getting that wrong. Literally here. Gives a shit.
This guy is. I just want to. I didn't really. I'm of a different era, if you want to say. I don't want to date myself there, but I always thought Coco was just a proper jobber. Like, who gives a shit? But he was really over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Coco he was super over. I was a big Coco Beware fan as a kid. High Energy was my favorite tag team.
I really liked High Energy. Yeah, I loved High Energy. I remember I went to America when, I don't know how old, I must have been about 12 or something, and I saw like Raw for the first time, like live. It was amazing. I could watch it like right, because we didn't have Sky at home at the time. And I watched it, and I was texting my mate, and he was on against Bastion Booger, so I guess it must have been around 94, 95. And he beat him, and I was so amazed because he was so much smaller than Bastion Booger. And it was back in the day where I always thought the big guys were going to win, and he's beat him. It was just some little crappy match on Raw, but I loved it. Yeah, I really liked Coco Beware. He was kind of a jobber, because we're used to seeing him on like WrestleMania and stuff, and he always gets jobbed out because he's against like the big stars. But I think on the smaller shows, he was sort of a B show big deal. He'd beat like the sort of less known guys on the smaller shows.
Before he was in High Energy, I'd say he was a mid card talent and he was very, very over. I mean, go back and look at the 6-man with the Bulldogs against the Heart Foundation. Like,
he's in that one.
Yeah, because he came out and they had Matilda and they had Frankie. And
that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
The so he doesn't last very long. Gets thrown out eventually by Ted, and then Marty comes out, has a bit of fire, and
takes
then
a flip off a
takes
clothesline.
absolutely, and then eliminates himself, sort of.
Yeah,
Ducks
he's
out the way.
body over.
No, rule number 1: stop running.
Good elimination though is different. It's one of the most original eliminations so far.
I feel there's a
100%.
lot of firsts in this Rumble, which is why I love it so much as well. Like, we'll get to it, but like everybody getting the big guy out with Earthquake as well. That must be the first time that happened, or at least in a Royal Rumble. It probably happened in a Battle Royal.
But the first actually comes straight after this now, and that is as soon as Jake comes out, him and Ted stops him getting in the ring,
And he goes out through the second and third.
ropes, and he brawl on the outside. He gives him a slam on the outside. Now I don't remember that ever happening, and the commentators just like kind of like gloss over it. They're just like, oh, he's gone outside to meet. Like, they don't point out that he went through the middle ropes or anything like that.
I thought that was weird. It was a perfect time to explain the rules, and it kind of like enforces the rules. Yeah. I think they were maybe confused because the Rumble was so new to everyone then. Because you can see that when they're going to eliminate people, they're so excited from just like very bog standard stuff. It's great to see. Just like even like throws Savage at the ropes and he sort of just stops himself later on. And everyone's like, oh, he was almost gone. And just when they're doing the classic trying to get them out, there's a lot more drama in this one because people actually think they might get them out.
Yeah,
we've been keeping tabs on Jake as well in these first 3, and he's been gradually even more over as the years have gone by. He was
over in this one.
It was really frustrating how last year he was barely in it. He must have been injured.
Yeah, because
he was in it for like 5 minutes.
He goes out, he gets choked out by Andre, and then he's out within 5 minutes, and then Damien comes in and eliminates Andre.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I remember that. It makes me laugh when I see Jake taking bumps early on in his career, because later on, like 96, he doesn't take any bumps when he comes back. I don't know if you were ever, when he was around, when he came to the UK, he used to be on shows with us sometimes, and he would never take bumps. But that was obviously because they were tiny shows, like he's not going to take bumps. But he was like very against taking bumps, and here he is in 1990 taking backdrops and stuff.
Well, we say that about Jake's longevity, though, but he was still eliminated 3rd in this match. I don't know if it was straight away, but
no, the ring filled up a little bit first. Because it was out before Jake got eliminated.
Macho eliminated him, so it must have got obviously to Macho at some point because obviously we've had Piper in there beforehand. But I was going to say that's how you get heat in 1990. Is you eliminate Jake just before he does a DDT.
He never gets it. I think
he's done it. He's done it in each. He's done it in all 3 matches. I think.
Yeah, he's
gone for it, and then it hasn't happened, and then he's gone.
Yeah, but
the Jake spot.
It was mid DDT. It hooked him, and then Savage just ran over and clotheslined him over the top.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, because
is this Savage out next?
Yeah. I was going to say so. It was Jake, and then it was Macho.
Say this before anyone else does. This is going to be some S tier, top standard Macho Man Randy Savage gear.
Are you serious? I hate this gear.
This gear is incredible. This is the most heelish Savage gear I've ever seen.
Oh, I've been worked.
Like just a couple of years ago, it's like, well, a couple of years ago, his babyface against $1 Million Man, and now he's got different gear on, and $1 Million Man's his buddy, teaming up with everyone in the room.
I like this in this match.
Yeah, I was like, do you guys not remember WrestleMania 4? It was less than 2 years ago.
If I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time he wears tights, and he wears tights forever.
Yeah.
He never wears trunks again after this.
WrestleMania 5 he was still wearing trunks, wasn't he? So yeah, he just like 1990, it was like new decade, new me. He started wearing tights, did he?
Mm.
Just tights, not just because he could have just gone with like the trunks but longer, put some stars down the side. Oh no. Savage went with, I'm going to wear the loudest fucking pants anyone has ever seen. Basically, very tight Zubas. That was it. And he, mate.
They look like,
you don't like this gear, Bob?
It looked like something that like the Islanders would wear.
It looked like Savage had gone to Hawaii and just seen a shirt and gone, that's it, that's my next gear.
He's turned a sarong into tights. That's what he's done.
He was so tanned in this as well. I mean, everyone was. Actually, that was one of my notes when I just saw like all the promos at the beginning, which is great by the way, when they give everyone a little promo and they go through them. But I was just like, steroids and tan. That's what this is. It's just so evident.
He's wrestling, baby.
Yeah, like
no one's tanned these days, are they?
It was steroids and tan, but they kind of looked so unhealthy as well. Because obviously they were. That's why they all died so young. But like you just look at them and they look tired, like their bodies and their face and stuff, because they obviously don't sleep because they're just taking drugs all the time.
Oh, bring it back.
Like they kind of look
Was it
older than they are as well. What do you say, Nick?
Is it Rowdy Waddy next?
It is. Piper comes out next, and my notes just say this fucking crowd, like they are. I mean, the first year was in Ontario, so Canada's always good. The year after was pretty good. It was okay. This crowd in Orlando is going mental, and it doesn't wane. It really. I mean, it might wane for us while we're watching it, in retrospect, but like. But the crowd were so up for this from start to finish. Yeah, and then Piper. Yeah, so it's a bit of a roll call. Piper's in, and then the Warlord comes out at 7, who's flipping ginormous. And then Brett comes out, and the girls, they love a bit of Brett.
He gets a fantastic reaction, Brett. Like really, like at this point as well. I mean, obviously he's Bret Hart, so in a few years' time, his reaction will be fucking astronomical. But at this point, he's still just a tag team wrestler, and they love him. They're all over him.
Yeah. Well, he writes about that in his book, doesn't he? How like he was getting one of the best reactions, and he was like, "Listen, can't you see like what's happening here?" And obviously that grew, and eventually, he became singles and put the belt on him. One thing I was just looking in the ring at one point, and I was like, "This is mental. How many legends are in the ring?" It's like $1 Million Man, Macho Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Roddy Piper, Bret Hart. Then Andre comes out, and it's like that's so many.
Andre. Dusty comes out before Andre.
Oh, sorry, Dusty as well. Yeah, Dusty.
Excuse me.
Well,
we're also missing the most important man in this Rumble at number 9, Bad News Brew Run. Who?
It's a fucking Rumble. It's the only time of the year he's working.
It's either a Rumble or he's in a Survivor Series match. That's it. And then he's in a Rumble where he gets eliminated and then eliminates someone else whilst he's already out, or he's in a Survivor Series match where he just walks away.
Yeah.
I mean, you can never get pinned that way, but also you'll never win anything.
I love his like loner gimmick. The Rumble, they're like, "Oh, this is his type of match. There's no friends here." Survivor Series, it's like, "Oh, this is not his type of match. Too many friends."
It's like what do you mean I've got to eliminate 29 people? Ugh. Don't bother with that. And then I just want to point. I'll just point this out about one of my most hated spots in Rumbles is eliminating someone, and then that person eliminates you.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I've always hated it. It does
Jesse
my head. It shouldn't be allowed.
Is that even allowed?
It shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It's Well, I was thinking about this, like, but it doesn't say in the rules like they can't. But then, in theory, anyone, like a fan, could just come in and throw someone out, and like, would that be an elimination? Like,
well, I had a conversation with someone once who said, "Why don't you just bring a knife?"
Well, that was always the argument in like a no DQ match, wasn't it? Just bring a gun, but it would make matches would be pretty short and
when you get
cancelled pretty quick.
Say as well, obviously we had the whole rule of managers. Your manager's allowed to be out there as long as you are, and nobody really took advantage of it other than 2 managers who got in each other's faces.
That was good.
I love this spot.
I know what you're gonna say, yeah.
And Mr. Fuji fucking proved once again why they were 2 of the greatest managers in the business. Straight away, giving each other shit, the camera's on them, and it's like, you know, the camera only went on them because they did, because they were like, no, we're gonna give us some shit, we're gonna have some fucking grief, and
It's fantastic, brilliant, so good.
For me, it just, especially when you've got like Bobby's with Andre, and at this point, Andre, you know, this is the low part of Andre's career. He's not really doing much other than choking guys in this match.
Leaning.
So they still need something a bit more energetic to fill in for Andre, and Bobby Heenan was perfect for that for me.
Yeah.
100%.
It made it feel real, didn't it? Because they were heel managers, and it was like you sort of watch it and you're like, oh yeah, he's actually like, they're both heels, so they should like each other, but they really want their guy to win. Like that's so they're getting angry with each other. I don't know, something about it just felt more real. And then Bobby suddenly gets very scared of Mr. Fuji, and I was like, oh, that's because Mr. Fuji used to be a wrestler. I suppose Bobby did as well, but he gets scared of wrestlers, doesn't he?
Mr. Fuji had a stick.
He had a stick too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just point out. So Dusty came out at 10, and then it was Andre, and then number 12, the MVP for me, the Red Rooster.
What is
when
it?
he was going against Andre, I was like, "This is the only chance you're going to go against a main event level guy." Red Rooster. I always feel sorry for him when he comes out because I feel like he just hates it so much.
I mean, I pointed out on my notes here that at this point, after the Roosters come in, Bad News Brown and Piper are brawling to the back, and Shane McMahon sighting. Shane McMahon as a referee. Shane Stevens, he was called. He used to do
doing the exact same thing.
Who's that?
I said, and we'll see Shane again next year in the exact same spot when it's Taker.
Yeah. And then it goes, and then I feel like this is like the tag division then starts to get involved now.
Yeah, because Axe is out next, isn't he? And he just
that's right.
Fucking poor Andre.
Yeah, it's good though that he like Demolition get rid of him just on their own, because usually, well, we saw with Earthquake it took everyone, so it's good they gave that to Demolition. I like as well how they built up so many matches for WrestleMania 6, and actually every big match on WrestleMania 6 starts here. Dusty, Macho Man, well, that did start a bit before, but this is where it really started. Roddy, Bad News Brown, Jake, $1 Million Man, Warrior Hogan, Mr. Perfect Brutus, and then Demolition, Andre Haku. Like all the matches that I really remember from WrestleMania 6. I know Roddy and Bad News Brown was a bit crap, but they.
I mean, you weren't a fan of blackface, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, as a kid, I didn't really get that, and I'm glad I didn't get it. Or
the thing is, you have to take into consideration that they didn't have weekly TV like they do now, so you have to do your big angles at the pay-per-views, or on the big Saturday night main event.
Yeah. I love a long build as well.
I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of rumbles that have stories interladen between the whole thing. Yeah. So
when Andre got eliminated, Brett did as well. Nobody kind of realised that Brett got eliminated until afterwards, and it's like, oh, you'd just like to point out that Bret Hart got eliminated.
It's a shame that.
Yeah, he did.
Got eliminated by Dusty.
When like two guys go at once and all the focus is on one going and like the other one kind of just gets left at the wayside.
You know what? I mean, we'll talk about it next time, but that actually happens to Brett again next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He gets eliminated off screen again.
I feel that's on Brett. What's he doing getting eliminated when someone else is getting eliminated? Like
it shocks me that he doesn't wait.
Yeah, like rule 101 in Rumble: do your elimination when no other shit's going on. Like, how insistent was I at the Rumble recently?
All the time, every time.
Obviously, everybody ignored me and just wanted to fuck themselves over. I was like, fair enough. Don't get over. Just get eliminated in secret, you idiot.
Yeah, like you say, Axe and Smash in between. Haku comes out in between. So there you got the match there, and then you've got Akeem at 16. Obviously jumping with eliminations because I think my notes have messed up in terms of the order that people get thrown out. I've got the same number 3 times.
Who got Akeem out? I missed that actually.
Akeem was Earthquake, wasn't it? It was just like a really soft clothesline.
It was. You remember that, yeah.
There's a few soft clotheslines in this era.
Just point out, because then at 17 is Jimmy Snuka. Don't look it up. How old do you think Jimmy Snuka was in this match?
He looked haggard, but he's probably a lot younger than he looks.
Go on, Nick.
36.
JC?
Probably 32 or something ridiculous. Yeah.
Mike?
I'm actually going to go 40. But then I think that's probably a little bit too far for the age. I've
Jimmy Snuka was 46.
Oh, it's the other way.
So it's the other way. He is old. So when he wrestles like Undertaker at WrestleMania 7, he's 48 or 47, 48. And that's the same age as like Sheamus now.
That's mental.
Or AJ Styles is like 46.
So would you like to know a bit of JC trivia to put myself over? I drop a name for a second.
Always.
I very briefly, I was in a multi-man tag match against Jimmy Snuka in 2006, and I tried to hit him with a coconut. He headbutted me, so he must have been fucking old when that
2006.
happened.
So that would have been
2006.
He'd have been.
He must have been
62. He would have been
62 when he headbutted me.
His girlfriend then.
62-year-old beat me. How embarrassing.
Why are you telling that story? Don't tell that story.
No, so when he wrestles Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 25
that was
in 2009, he was 65. He's old, I just thought, but he's jacked.
Well, he made a real good comeback. He really hit a low where he was wrestling me in Ware, a place called Ware, and then he made it to wrestling Chris Jericho at WrestleMania, whatever it was.
Your match was probably better, to be honest.
I like to think I was partly responsible for his comeback. If I hadn't put him over with that coconut spot.
That's it. You wouldn't have. Jericho saw that and went, that's it, we need Snuka. And it's all thanks to that guy over there.
No one saw that. That promoter made a big loss on that show, believe me. Bringing in Jimmy Snuka. Now I'm a promoter, and I look back on those shows where the big names was there, and there's no one in the audience. I was like, oh man, someone's lost a house on this one.
I just point. I don't know when it happens, so I'm just going to mention it now. I messaged you guys earlier, just been remind me to mention Haku's elimination of somebody. I can't remember who he eliminated, but they went over the top rope. They kind of saved themselves. Haku just kind of looked back and super kicked him. I was just like, yes, that was one of the most interesting eliminations we have seen.
What, Haku super kicked them?
Yeah, they saved themselves. They stood on the apron whoa. And he just turned around and noticed and then just kicked him off. It's yes.
I can't remember that, actually. I can't remember who that was.
It was very cool. It just kind of looked, you just kind of saw the look on Haku's face, yeah.
I thought you meant to talk about how Haku was eliminated, which I do remember.
No, he eliminated somebody. Like I say, it was different. It stood out. It was the first time that we kind of saw somebody save themselves and then just get cheap shot off.
True.
Not going to run into the ring at the same pace that Jake walked.
Conserve your energy, son. He's 46. He qualified for the walking football team at that point.
Fair enough. I mean, he does look. I thought he was going to be a lot younger because I felt like he looked very old. So I thought you were trying to trick us the other way.
No. I don't know why, because we shouldn't be surprised at that age, because wrestlers in WWE now and AEW are that age in their primes.
Back then, though, that Hogan's still pretty young here, isn't he? Is he 30 or something? I don't know. He was. No, he's a bit older. He must be like,
Hogan.
he was like 30 around sort of early, like WrestleMania 3, probably.
He was 30 when he won the belt, I think.
Okay,
In
so he's late
84.
30s there.
I think Earthquake is about 24, 25 in this match.
I think he's one of the most like fascinating humans, because I saw a clip of him in All Japan in All Japan before he got signed, and he was about 22, and he looked about 40.
He always looked the same age, didn't he?
I've always looked like a 40-year-old man. And now that I'm getting closer to 40, I'm actually starting to look my age. But like, I feel Earthquake's pain, because like even in my 20s, they were like, "How old are you? 40?" I'm like, "Fuck off." I remember a referee, Des Robinson, genuinely was like, "I thought you were older than me." I'm like, "Des, you're the oldest fucking person I know. How am I older than you?" Dick. Yeah, I'm not sensitive about my age though.
And then, yeah, actually, speaking of Earthquake, I mean, Dino Bravo comes out 18, but 19 is Earthquake. Earthquake fucking rules. I can't believe they didn't put the belt on him.
Quake was the man. He should have been it. It should have been him and Hogan at Mania. They wasted it on doing it at SummerSlam.
Well, I guess it wasn't successful in the eyes of the box office, apparently, but I loved WrestleMania 6 with Hogan and Warrior. But yeah, they may have...
If they continued to push Earthquake, you could have avoided all the shit with Slaughter and done Hogan and...
Oh, yeah, WrestleMania 7. Yeah, because you'll get this on your next Rumble show. It's Earthquake and Hogan at the end of the Rumble. They kind of like finished feuds with Hogan in 1990 and 91, because he was feuding with Mr. Perfect at this point, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yes.
And this ends it. And then the same thing happens in 91. Like, he's feuding with Earthquake for like, I don't know, like 8 months, and then the last thing with him is the Royal Rumble 91. Whereas, yeah, WrestleMania 91 probably would have been better with Earthquake. At one point, it was going to be a Tugboat, wasn't it? Typhoon.
Yeah.
They were gonna make him as like a they were gonna make him a Sheik or something. I don't know what they were gonna do, but he was gonna do whatever, like Sergeant Slaughter did. He was gonna be an American turncoat.
I don't know the actual details, but I know that the plan was at one point to do Tugboat and Hogan, because he'd built up a friendship between the two of them on TV. So the idea was going to be that he'd turn on Hogan, and then they'd have the match at Mania. And then for some reason it was Slaughter. And I mean, it worked, because Slaughter got over like fucking Rover as a heel, but he only got over because of the Gulf War.
But I think they were going to do the same thing with Tugboat. I think they were going to make him like Iraqi or something, or like they were going to do something a bit crazy like they did with Sergeant Slaughter with him. I'm sure I saw that on Bruce Pritchard's podcast. They were talking about it.
Just like a stormtrooper helmet on him and made him run through a fucking wall.
Yeah, that's true. I think they changed it because they didn't really have faith in him.
Would you?
No, the headline WrestleMania, probably not.
I would have still had all the faith in the world in Quake to have done it, though.
Oh, Earthquake, yeah, definitely. I know they're both the natural disasters, but there's a clear winner of those two.
Oh, yes.
I always liked to fantasy.
Typhoon when I was a kid because he was slightly taller.
Does he have red gear?
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt he got taller when he changed his gear. When he was Tugboat, he was like the same size, same height as Earthquake. Then he put on that red gear, he was taller. Maybe his hair got taller. Did he got platforms in his boots?
I reckon he had lifts in them boots.
Yeah, he must have had lifts because he was taller in Natural Disasters. He looked bigger than Tugboat. He felt pretty dumpy as Tugboat.
Speaking of
I suppose horizontal stripes, makes you look dumpy, doesn't it?
Fashionista over here. Okay, we've got Jim Neidhart. He comes
He
out
gets
20.
a massive pop, more than I thought he would. They
I think
love the Hart Foundation, don't they?
It's residual Bret Hart pop.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Like, oh, that's Bret's mate.
I didn't like his sort of flesh-coloured hat that he was wearing in the promo before.
His little
That was
beanie, his
horrible.
little flesh beanie.
Yeah.
So good. And then number 21, the
It's
Ultimate Warrior.
They all team up on Earthquake, and that's when you have the first, like, let's everyone get this guy out, and then they...
Yeah, sorry. That's right.
It's good because it makes Earthquake look good whilst getting eliminated.
Yeah,
And
it really
then
puts him over.
Who do we have after Anvil, Bobby?
The Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate fucking Warrior.
Jesus, this guy was over. I don't care what anyone says. You know, people say that Hogan was the actual draw. You know, Warrior wasn't as popular as people think he was. This guy was he was over, man. Everyone was obsessed with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
There's a reason why Vince put the belt on him. There was a reason why he was supposed to take over from Hogan as the next face of the company. Because the fans had chosen. He was over as fuck. The face paint, he was jacked. He was fast. His matches were Goldberg matches, basically. But he was still over like fuck, and it would have been stupid not to have taken the chance on him.
Mm. Yeah, he was massively over.
Maybe not give him the ego that he had, because fuck me.
Were you guys Hogan or Warrior back in the day? Neither.
Savage all the way, even when he was a heel. I don't know what it was. I just maybe it's because he was smaller, and because as a kid I was like, I'm rooting for the smaller guy, but I never liked Hogan. I always thought there was something about Hogan that I just couldn't put my finger on it. And we mentioned this in the '89. He gets eliminated, and then he goes back in and fucking eliminates someone, and I'm like, that's a heel.
He does it every year. Yeah, so he does it this one.
He's such a shitbag in the Rumble.
Yeah, he's always a shitbag in Rumbles.
He's the worst baby. He's the worst baby. Well, he's the worst baby face.
With his eye rakes and his back scratches, and he hits people.
When he comes in later, I've got things to say about Hulk Hogan. It's related to this, not like what he's doing now.
What about you, Bobby and Nick? Hogan or Warrior?
Savage, all the way.
Can we take Savage out of this? Hogan or Warrior?
No, this is a Savage household.
Warrior in that case.
They were before my time. I didn't start watching until the Attitude Era properly because I'm only 33.
Real old.
And but obviously in retrospect and having watched it all and now I was Hogan.
Yeah,
it feels so dirty to say it, but Hogan was.
Can we just go back to True Grit business for a second, JC? I get it. I'm in so much fucking trouble with him.
Yeah.
Egomaniac.
Fucking fan of an egomaniac. I get it.
Talks back, doesn't he? A lot.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Hogan. No, take it back.
You said it. It's recorded. It's now been documented. You said Hogan.
Whoops. Savage.
You need to edit that, Nick. So you say it sounds like you're saying I'm a fan of Hogan now. I'm a big fan of his current work.
American on that Netflix debut.
Yeah.
Bobby Cash has stepped down as True Grit board member after his comments about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's Warrior's immediately fucked.
Oh yeah, gassed. Is gassed off his entrance. Gets in. It's a few things. Eliminates Dino Bravo, and then that's it. He's fucked then.
Yeah, he does just look off his tits.
Someone who's not fucked comes out very much next. A cardio machine comes out next. It's Rick the Model Martel.
Oh yeah.
Royal Rumble aficionado, and then he's followed by the only guy he's ever apparently fucking feuding with, and that's Chico Santana.
Chico.
It's Chico.
It's Chico.
But
they never really had a payoff to that feud on a big stage, did they?
They literally just
No.
revisit it every Rumble until Tito becomes a matador.
Yeah.
And then when he's a matador, he forgets that he hates Rick Martel.
Yeah, because he's a matador
I
in
hate bulls
'92,
now.
and Martel's in that as well. So I don't think
He hates balls.
they don't even talk to each other. They don't even look at each other in the '92 Rumble. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, Rick Martel is, yeah, he's all right. He's all right, isn't he? He doesn't really do anything.
I'm
He
a
doesn't
fan
really do a
of
lot.
Rick Martel. I mean, he doesn't do that much in this, but I'm a big fan of Rick Martel.
But yeah, it feels like they're still, because I think Tito's still wearing his Strike Force gear.
They both are, aren't they?
No, he's got baby blue on, Rick Martel.
Was it baby? Oh, look, kind
Yeah.
of silver. I was watching it.
No, Martel has made the jump now to like embracing the model gimmick. He's got the light blue. He's feathered the hair and all that. But no, Tito's still wearing the Strike Force gear. Just can't get over it. Let it go, man.
It's like Marty Jannetty
Yeah,
wearing
he
the
just
Rockers
keeps the
gear in
rocker
90,
thing going.
wearing the Rockers gear in '96.
They should have formed a tag team of just called bitter leftovers.
The other
Yeah.
lads. The other one.
The other guys.
Him and Tito and fucking Anvil.
Anvil and Brett never really broke up, though, did they? They never fell out. Except
That's
for
true.
briefly when Anvil joined Owen Hart.
That is true. They actually did just part ways amicably.
Yeah.
Which is quite rare.
There was no barbershop window for those pair.
Definitely not. I mean,